In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make the brioche knit stitch in the round, and we will make a circular scarf. Remember that the brioche stitch is a reversible stitch. Let's go with the step by step. With the circular needle, in this case with a 5.5 circular needle, you have to take the yarn and cast on 92 stitches. 92 stitches. You can use the way to cast on that you prefer, but I am making this way because it's more elastic. Remember, when you are working in the round, keep the knots in the center of the needles. And now we have to join to start working in the round. We have to take a stitch marker, we have to start with knit 1, we have to take the yarn and place it on the left needle and slip the following stitch purlwise. This is what we have to repeat to the end. Knit 1, place the yarn on the left needle and slip this stitch purlwise. We are making knit 1 yarn over and slip 1 stitch purlwise. Repeat again. Knit 1, place the yarn on the left needle and slip the stitch purlwise. We have to repeat the same to the end of the row. At the end of the row you have to finish with knit 1 and the yarn over with the slip the following stitch purlwise. Place the stitch marker on the right needle again, and we have to take now the following color. You can use the stitch marker to know where is the beginning of each row, but you can use also the yarn. When you find again the next color is when you have to change the color. So take the new color, leave the yarn that we are not using on the back part, and now we have to make a row with purl stitches. The row with, in this case, the blue yarn is the row with knit stitches, and the other yarn is to make the purl rows. Take with the right hand the yarn and start with leaving the new yarn on the needle and slip the following stitch purlwise. And we have to repeat to the end of the row, purl two together. We have to purl the yarn over and the slip stitch of the previous row together. Again, place the yarn on the left needle and slip the following stitch purlwise. And again, purl two together, make the brioche purl two together. And this is what we have to repeat to the end of the row. Place the yarn on the left needle and slip the following stitch purlwise. And again, purl two together, make the brioche purl two together. And this is what we have to repeat to the end of the row. Once we are at the end, we have to make the yarn over and slip purlwise, and we have to purl the last stitch. Now we have to change the marker and take the blue yarn. We have to knit those stitches together, the yarn over and the slip the stitch. And we have to place the yarn on the left needle and slip purlwise the following stitch. Knit two together, brioche knit two together, and yarn over, slip purlwise, brioche knit two together, and yarn over, slip purlwise, brioche knit two together, and yarn over, slip purlwise. This is what we have to repeat to the end of the row. Once we finish the row, we have to brioche knit 2 together and yarn over and slip purlwise with the blue yarn. Now we have to change the marker and take again the purple yarn. We have to make like a crossing with the 2 yarns. We have to place the purple yarn over the blue yarn and we have to start now the row with the purl stitches. Place the yarn on the left needle, slip purlwise the following stitch, and brioche purl 2 together. We have to purl the 2 following stitches together. Repeat again the yarn over and slip purlwise and brioche purl 2 together. How you can know if you have to purl or if you have to slip the stitch? The stitch, in this case the stitch in blue, that we made a knit stitch on the previous row, this stitch is the stitch that we have to slip purlwise. When you find the 2 colors together, the 2 different colors together, here is where we have to make the purl 2 together. So repeat the yarn over slip purlwise and brioche purl 2 together to the end of the row. Once we are at the end, we have to make the yarn over slip purlwise and brioche purl 2 together. Change the marker and we have to start again a row with the blue color, with the main color. With the blue yarn, we have to brioche knit 2 together. We have to knit those 2 stitches together, yarn over and slip purlwise, knit 2 together, brioche knit 2 together, place the yarn on the hook, slip purlwise, knit 2 together, and this is what we have to repeat on the rows with the blue yarn. Once we are at the end, we have to brioche knit 2 together, make the yarn over and slip purlwise the following stitch. Now change the marker and I repeat again how to change the color. You have to take the contrasting yarn, the following yarn, and you have to place the yarn over the other color. You have to make like a twist. You have to start with a yarn over slip purlwise, so place the yarn on the hook and slip purlwise the following stitch, making the yarn over slip purlwise, and you have to continue with brioche purl 2 together and yarn over and slip the stitch purlwise. Repeat the same to the end of the row. Brioche purl 2 together and yarn over and slip the following stitch purlwise. one more time the row with the blue yarn, the row with the knit stitches. We have to brioche knit 2 together, yarn over and slip the following stitch purlwise, brioche knit 2 together and yarn over and slip the following stitch purlwise. You have to repeat 23 times the rows with the 2 colors. You have to make 23 times the row with the blue yarn and the row with the contrasting yarn, finishing with a row with the contrasting yarn. 23 repetitions. You can see here the brioche stitch. The blue yarn is the main color and this is the row in the right side. This stitch is reversible, and on the other side you can see that the main color is the contrasting yarn and on the back you have the blue color. Once we finish the 23 rows, you have to finish with the main color. In this case I have the purple yarn. And we have to start making all the stitches now with the purple yarn, with the main color. I used before the blue yarn, but now I'm making the stitches with the purple yarn. So, and we have to knit 2 together. The following stitch, we have to knit the following stitch, brioche knit 2 together, knit 1, and we are working now with the purple yarn all the stitches. We don't have to slip purlwise and yarn over, we only have to knit brioche knit 2 together and knit, brioche knit 2 together, knit 1. And this is what we have to repeat to the end of the row. We can cut the contrasting yarn. And now we have to bind off all the stitches with the purple yarn. Remember how to bind off. You have to knit 1 and pass the first stitch over the second stitch. Knit 1 again and pass the first stitch over the second stitch. Knit 1 and pass the previous stitch over the next stitch. And this is what we have to repeat to the end of the row. We have to bind off all the stitches. Now with the needle we have to loose the yarn in between of the scarf, and we can cut the yarn. we finished our circle scarf. Remember that it is a reversible stitch, and you can use the right or the wrong side if you prefer.